This is the story of one of the most dangerous serial killers of Pakistan. It was November 29, 1999, when a letter was received at the Jang newspaper office. This letter adorned the table for many days, like traditional letters, and letter was opened after 2 days on December 2, 1999 by Jang News editor-in-chief Karwar Naeem Hashmi. The letter was about 32 pages long and contained 103 children's photographs with a story hidden within it. As soon as the Karwar Naeem Hashmi opened the letter, more than 100 pictures of children's were scattered in the room. Child's name, address and age were written on the back of each picture.
My name is Javed Iqbal, and I confess that I have raped and killed more than 100 children's. Now my mental satisfaction has reached such a level that I want to end this story. I surrender myself. I should be prosecuted and punished according to law. I want you to tell the world, through your newspaper, what I have done.
Karwar Naeem Hashmi called him and invited him to his office. He told his entire story in detail.
I used to bring the children's astray from bus stations, railway stations, shrines, deserted streets. My aim was to fulfill my physical lust, and then I strangled them with a rope. And to dispose of the body, I threw the bodies in a drum full of acid.
Why did he do that? Javed Iqbal was born in 1961 in a respectable family of Lahore. His father, Mian Muhammad Ali, was a successful businessman and his mother was housewife. Javed was the sixth of his 8 siblings. Javed was a sharp-minded person who wanted to become a journalist. He could not complete his education due to some reason, and his father asked him to start an iron business. Javed's marriage was arranged, but it could not last more than 6 months because Javed was a homosexual with paedophile tendency. In 1990, the first rape case with young boy was registered against him, and his father and brothers bailed him out after 6 months on the run. After getting bail, his father arranged her second marriage, but that too did not last more than 6 months, and his father died due to these sorrows and troubles. In 1997, he was charged in another rape case and again got bail with great difficulty. In September 1998, he seduced child to massage himself. He raped him, kid made a lot of noise, but he scared the child by showing him a gun. Kid made a plan, and he hit the same gun on Javed's head, which made him unconscious, and Kid run away. Javed was taken to hospital. Due to head injury, Javed went into exile for about 3 weeks. Javed's mother could not bear all this, and she died crying. The trauma of his mother's death made him mentally ill, and he blamed that child for his mother's death. That was the time when Javed decided that now he will take revenge of his...
My mother died sobbing because of my condition. I will make 100 mothers cry, just like my mother cried for me.
He committed the first murder on 20th of June 1999 of 14-year-old Yasir, who belonged to the city of Hafizabad in Pakistan. He committed the second murder on June 26, 1999, and while doing so, he committed the 100th murder on November 13, 1999, 16-year-old boy who belonged to Peshawar, Pakistan. He was very fond of fame from the beginning. He also sent this letter to police station in November 1999, and then Deputy Superintendent Tariq Kambo, along with some officials, reached the address given on the back of the letter 16B Ravi Road. They knocked on the door and Javed came out. Police asked Javed questions about the letter, but Javed expressed ignorance, and he put a gun to his head and threatened the police that if they don't leave, he will commit suicide. The police left without asking any further questions and without searching the house. They considered him as a psycho. Come back to December 2nd, 1999. Now news got out and office of Jang News was surrounded by the police. Now Javed Iqbal is under the custody of officials. Jang newspaper has broke this news along with names and photographs of the children's. And suddenly a crowd of people came outside Javed Iqbal's house and mothers kept running in search of their children. Javed Iqbal's name was in the red headlines in the international media and local media. Everywhere there was the sound of mothers crying in Lahore.
एक मिनट आपने 200 बच्चे क्यों नहीं कत्ल किए 100 क्यों इंतकामन कर रहे थे ना
बिल्कुल
इंतकामन कर रहे थे
मेरे पास आज भी इतने पैसे थे कि मैं ये सिलसिला जारी रख सकता था
कितने पैसे
अगर कल को आपने जो जितने मारे हैं उनमें से 3-4 बच्चे घरों को वापस आ गए फिर आपका सारा ये
कोई नहीं आएगा
किस तरह आप कहते हैं कोई नहीं आएगा
शाहीन साहब
किस तरह
During the investigation, they found children's clothes, shoes and drums filled with acid from Javed Iqbal's house. Only 57 bodies of children's out of 100 were identified, and rest of them were completely dissolved in acid. Javed Iqbal was produced in the court, and he kept changing his statement during every hearing. Sometimes he said, "I am innocent." Sometimes he said that there are 20 other people, including his family members and friends with me, who killed these children. And sometimes he said that I have done all this for the abandoned children walking on these streets so that the government can think about them and provide them a good environment. On March 2000, Javed told the court that no child was killed and it was all a publicity stunt. Javed was an expert in creating stories. That is why the then additional and session judge Allah Bakhsh Ranja ignored all his words. Case progressed and about 75 mothers recorded their statements against Javed Iqbal. It was one of the most highlighted cases in the history of Pakistan. People were on strike outside the court all day and raised the voice of justice. Judge Allah Bakhsh Ranja was to deliver the verdict in the biggest case in the history of Pakistan, and this verdict should have fulfilled the hopes of the angry public. Javed was given that sentence, which has not been given to anyone in the history of Pakistan.
Javed Iqbal will be taken to Minar-e-Pakistan, and he will be strangled with the same rope he used to kill. His body will be cut into 100 pieces and dissolved into acid.
His friend Sajid was sentenced to 686 years, Nadeem was sentenced to 186 years, and Sabir, who was only 13 years old, was sentenced to 42 years. After hearing this sentence, some people and NGOs immediately stood in favour of Javed Iqbal, saying that this sentence is against human rights, but case was so serious that this sentence was confirmed. And on October 9, 2001, news came out from Block 7 of Kot Lakhpat jail, which shook the masses to core that Javed Iqbal committed suicide, and he was found dead along with his friend Sajid. The suicide of Javed and his friend was beyond comprehension, because investigation reported that both the criminals died in the same way at the same time, and cameras were off for 2 hours that night. It is still a question mark whether Javed committed suicide or was killed.